Hello, Anja.
Hi Laura, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. And how about you?
I'm fine as well, thanks a lot. Yes.
Lovely to have you today on a one-on-one to discuss a little bit the experience with Endless Woman, to talk a bit about you, and then to talk about the Pioneer Award, which is a
Yes.
nice subject that is given to you to show the appreciation to your contribution in the Bliss Woman community. So, Anya, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where you're coming from, what is your background, and what you're doing now in your exciting international life.
Well, I started in the automobile industry, first of all, coming from a typical economic background, I would say so. And at that time, already when I was around 20, went to the US, in fact, for an apprenticeship, and then went into other industries like plastics, household plastics, engineering. And in the past 16 years, I worked in the cosmetics surrounding and joined a startup, which then in the end became the European market leader in the cosmetics field of color cosmetics, which was really an exciting journey. All in all, I started within human resources, and I really love to develop people and organizations, and that was my main also role in the cosmetics industry, and which became more and more international, in fact, because I set up subsidiaries and worked a lot to develop them as well in the end. So very interesting also because I went more and more out of human resources, into organizational development, purchasing, packaging development, and then in the end, like how to manage subsidiaries at best. So I really like this intercultural also aspect of working together because we have a strong network all over today. So we are dependent in a lot of ways on other countries, on other companies, and to see there the nets and how it works together is very interesting. And to improve this is, of course, in the end, very satisfying also for me. So yeah, after 16 years in the cosmetics industry, I decided to do my own business, and I'm specialized on developing companies, transformations within companies. So quite an holistic approach with my general background.
Yeah, it sounds really fascinating. And you probably were one of the first international ladies who started to work on what is normal today, this cross fertilization of different sectors. But you, with your economic background and with your strategic mind and with your passion for getting people to work together, you created all of these opportunities for organizations, knowing all of the different aspects. So today, that is something quite important, I would say essential, to know how to look at the business holistically. But it's just in recent years that it has become such an important agenda for all the CEOs. And you came from creating it, from giving one of the key examples of how to do that. So it's magnificent to hear from you because you bring the pioneer approach to to the business, which is also something that we appreciate very much when you talk with us within the Liss woman community. So now you have put together your own business and you are a strategic and organizational advisor for different companies. And so you continue to travel, you continue your international life, right? You're a little bit here, a little bit there.
Definitely. Yeah, that's what you also experience, as I don't have time, unfortunately, to be everywhere in every session. But I try to do most of it, of course. Yes, I'm traveling within Europe currently also to develop certain subsidiaries within a bigger business. and to see how to really improve and to drive also the change from there, from the smaller interface and small organization, coming then into the headquarter, the bigger one, which is also, which has a little different dynamic, of course, than being really in a big setup. Yeah, and that's it's interesting how this drives the change also from the outside. Yeah.
Yeah, and transformation is always necessary, but it is so painful. It is so hard. And it takes, yeah, experience, expertise, and patience sometimes, but also a firm focus on the essential parts of
Mm.
the strategy. And in your normal life, outside of the business, you're also a mother, a grandmother. You've built your own house. You've been extremely busy on many fronts. So a fantastic example, a role model of a strong woman who's building organizations and her own life. Wonderful.
Yes. Yeah, at a certain stage, it's all about taking over the responsibility for our lives, right? To say like there's something in front of myself, could be a mountain, could be, I don't know, a small rock. Let's take it and do the best out of it. So this is one of my really, I would say, like, which is also driving me, and I'm quite an optimistic person. So whatever comes across my way, I say like, okay, it's another challenge. Let's face it. And usually looking back, I would say like I made it and I grew within that. So
Yeah,
this is then the perception really looking back. And yeah, this is quite nicely, in fact. So it
it's a
doesn't look
nice.
that difficult in the end.
It's a nice philosophy of life when you say you're an optimistic person. You look at challenges and difficulties with this eye of, let's
Mhm.
face it, we can learn, we can find something, and it will be an interesting journey, anyhow, with a smile. Even
Yeah.
if sometimes the smile can be a little bit forced, but yeah,
That's
let's
also
do it.
part of our life, isn't it? It's not always about love, but if you look at things a little bit more from a distance or from a neutral perspective, it's not that yeah, it's not that difficult and not that really like it's not feeling like a burden. Then
Yeah.
it's a little bit easier. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Fantastic. And uh, tell us a little bit about the your experience with this woman. You came to this community over a year ago.
Yes. Mhm.
So how has it been? Tell us about.
So it was really fantastic and a complete new experience for me, I must say, because I love to exchange also internationally, as I said before, also the intercultural aspect I really love. And within this woman, you find everything, right? You find a lot of women with a lot of different experiences living in different parts of the world and bringing in their experiences, their thoughts. And for me, it's around really exchanging, but also getting inspired and bringing in your own thoughts and your own, yeah, maybe recommendations in certain cases, because you might have already faced something like that. And this is for me what I really like within this woman. Also, yeah, also the speakers coming externally into the group and bringing some really highlights, I would say some sparkles into the discussion, and then usually, okay, we start from there and we take it on for the next rounds. Yeah, this is really cool. Yeah.
It's like a freewheeling. It's like a building on each other's ideas.
Mhm.
It's a combination of peer-to-peer mentoring and growing together and
Yes.
expanding and broadening. And you, like many other women, are bringing the enthusiasm of learning, of growing, of expanding and broadening the perspective.
Mhm.
So you have actually, as you talk about giving suggestions, you have actually brought a lot of good insights into specific situations when some of our members were maybe wondering about some challenges, some issues, and you were able to share your experience and maybe advice, give ideas, give insights of different ways of handling things. But you also were bringing contributions to how we could make the community discussions a lot better. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about your experience in advising and bringing your own contribution to this woman.
Um, yes, so on a one-to-one perspective, of course, when there's a certain discussion around, and for me, as I also work as not only as a consultant but also as a coach, for me, I usually change perspectives and think really of what could be an interesting new perspective maybe for this person, and this what I'm really usually sharing then, but also bringing my own experiences in there. So nowadays, I think to be vulnerable and say, like, I have faced maybe a similar difficult situation in the past is very, very important, because nobody is perfect. And as we said before, there are ups and downs in lives. And yeah, with a certain age, of course, and with a certain experience, you have this in usually in your backpack. So why don't put some tools out and place it on the table so that somebody can really pick it up and profit from that. So this for me is yeah, I always love to do it, and to share and be creative also in talks. And regarding the community, how to make it better, for me, it's always about getting something and giving something. And I had the impression that you already give a lot of things. You have founded this woman, but also the other team around you. There's a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge. And on the other hand, also the participants or the other members, they also have it. So I thought, why don't we just give more into it? Because we will get even more out of it. And for me, a clear framework, clear rules usually help to make it even better in the end, because yeah, we only have a certain time dedicated to this, unfortunately. Life
Yes.
should be really just development for me, but this is not possible. So let's do the best out of the time we have available. Yeah.
Fabulous. I pick a couple of concepts that you have mentioned that fascinate me. The idea that we all have our backpack of tools and experiences. And what I loved about you and the way you say it is we have something that we can offer. Hey, look at it, but it's an offer, it's a gift.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you should do this or that. We
Mm-hmm.
have tried to create a community which is safe, non-judgmental, where
Mm-hmm.
everything is okay. You mentioned vulnerability. We need to be open and we need to feel that it is okay to be open. We need to have this confidential moment together where we can say, "Oh, oof, I'm a little bit stuck," or, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I find this challenge a little bit more difficult than usual. And then someone else says, "Have you thought about this or that?" That is your approach, which has been extremely helpful and very much in line with what we, the founders, wanted
Mm-hmm.
to have. Just let's offer different things to each other. And maybe one thing stimulates one thought, another one might be not relevant for you, but it might be relevant for someone else. So we are vulnerable and still, we are strong, because vulnerability is, means that we're strong enough in our own beliefs, in our own self-esteem, that we can say, I got a lot, but I don't have it all, so I can trust some other wonderful ladies to offer me something. And it's especially important that we're all ladies, because sometimes there is this, gender type of competitiveness that might be a little bit hard, and we international women were still very few in the business world. So not to feel alone and to help each other is very important. So I like this idea of the vulnerability and the backpack. And I think that you mentioned this one-on-one. That was a fantastic insight from you. You did with your kind ways, you did challenge us, the founders. We were maybe sometimes uh, overdoing it a little bit. You know, we felt the responsibility to offer a lot, and you have a lot to offer to each other. So
Mm.
you propose to the idea that once in a while you could have some one-on-ones between you separately, and that we could simplify the schedule and focus on certain items where everybody could contribute to more, and it relaxed us actually. I mean, it was a very good input that we looked at each other in the steering team and said, yeah, that's right. You know, we are also part of the community. We're not just the ones who have to feel that we have to fill the vacuum. Everybody can be active. We can all have these conversations, and we all can exchange what we have into our backpack. So that was fantastic. The you know the your kind pointed inputs were extremely important to help us make the community discussions a lot better. Less chats and more rich discussions with each other.
Mm.
And at the end of every session, I know that sometimes the ladies come and then they say, "Oh, I was not sure whether I wanted to attend. I have so many other things to do, and now I feel re-energized." And I think that you, with your personality, have helped a lot in bringing that re-energizing aspect of being optimistic and and enjoying just the enriching aspect of it. So thank you so much for being with us, for your contribution. And you have been a pioneer in your life, in your business life, but you've also been a pioneer in the way you have uh, showed up into the list woman. So that is why, and I'm not sure whether it is easy to see it,
I see it, yes.
but I'm offering to you. There it is.
There it is. Thank you very much, Laura. I appreciate this a lot. I felt very welcome in the list. Yeah, in the list successful women group, and I'm still there. I like really all discussions, and I appreciate also your engagement in there because without you, it wouldn't exist. So.
Thank you so much. Now, just to complete it, to finish our discussion, what would you recommend for any other ladies, fabulous international ladies who wanted to benefit from a community? What would be your final words to inspire others to join the conversation?
Mm. Yeah, it's we are so much used today to go on our own on the ways which are ahead of us, but to have a couple of women on the left, on the right side, even around yourself makes it so much easier to go to take the challenges, to go into an exchange. And of course, we women like to chat, we like to communicate. So it's the best way really also to find, yeah, a group which is also which has the same interest in general, right? So it's you're not alone. There are a lot of similar women who have the same interest, the same challenges, and just take the step and join because there's a lot in for you.
Nice, nice. I love the way you said it. Was like my sister to one side, my sister on to the other side. We're stronger together. We can inspire each other. And it's true that today it's harder to find the time for doing things for ourselves. And especially as women, we do tend to, do the right things and be disciplined and do the job and do everything at home and everything in the business. And sometimes it's like I also need to regenerate myself and to know that I'm not
Yeah.
alone. There
Mm.
are others that can help me to re-energize and feel that there's always someone that can, exchange uh, uh, insights, inputs, ideas.
Mm.
So thank you for being one of the fabulous ladies of this woman. Thank you for being a pioneer.
It's a pleasure.
And thank you for this time with me to share your perspectives. I'm really valuing very much the time that you spent with us. Thank you so much, Anja.
Laura. Yes, thank you too, Laura. Was a pleasure and looking forward to the next sessions.
Very good. Nice.